Every single day, billions of people receive a message that says, "Your OTP is 483921. Whether you are transferring money, logging into your bank, making an online purchase, or verifying your identity, that tiny 6-digit number has become something we trust without even thinking. And we've all heard the same advice. Never share your OTP with anyone. Because if nobody knows your OTP, your money is safe. Your account is secure. Right? Not exactly. Here's something most people don't realize. For years, SMS OTP has been one of the most trusted security mechanisms in the digital world. But today, something is changing. Quietly, banks, regulators, and technology companies across the world are beginning to rethink the very technology we've relied on for decades. This isn't speculation. It's already happening. Banks in Singapore have removed SMS OTPs for many digital banking logins. The Philippines has directed banks and e-wallet providers to phase out SMS OTPs for high-risk transactions. Countries like the UAE, Saudi Arabia, Malaysia, and Vietnam are adopting stronger authentication methods. Even in India, OTP isn't going away overnight. But as cyber threats evolve, banks are steadily moving beyond SMS OTP towards stronger, phishing-resistant authentication. So why? Has OTP become insecure? Or have cybercriminals simply become smarter than the technology? And if the world's financial institutions are changing the way they authenticate millions of users, what do they know that most of us don't? Today, we are going to uncover the answers. We'll understand why OTP became the global standard, how it actually works behind the scenes, how modern cybercriminals learned to exploit its weaknesses, why the world is moving beyond SMS OTP, and what the future of digital authentication could look like. Because this isn't just the story of a 6-digit code. It's the story of how digital trust is evolving. So, if you've ever trusted an OTP to protect your money, this is one video you shouldn't skip. To understand why the world is slowly moving beyond OTP, we first need to understand why it was created in the first place. Let's go back to the late 1990s and early 2000s. The internet was transforming banking. For the first time, people could check their account balance, transfer money, pay bills, and manage their finances without ever stepping inside a bank. For customers, it felt like the future. But for banks, it created a security problem they had never faced before. Before online banking, verifying someone's identity was simple. You walked into a branch. A bank employee could recognize you. You signed a document. You showed your passbook or identification. There were multiple ways to prove who you were. But the internet changed everything. Now, you could access your bank account from anywhere in the world. The only thing standing between your money and the criminal was a username and a password. At first, that seemed good enough. Until attackers realized something. They didn't need to break into a bank anymore. They didn't need masks. They didn't need weapons. They only needed one thing: your password. And if they had it, to the bank's systems, they were you. No alarms. No broken locks. No security guards. Just one stolen password. And complete access to someone's financial life. Banks quickly realized that passwords alone weren't enough. People reused the same password across multiple websites. Some wrote them on sticky notes. Others used birthdays, phone numbers, pet names, or passwords so simple that attackers could guess them in seconds. The industry needed another layer of protection. So security experts asked a simple question. What if proving your identity required more than just something you know? What if it also required something only you possess? That idea became what we now know as two-factor authentication. The first factor, something you know, your password. The second factor, something you have, your mobile phone. Instead of trusting a password alone, the bank would generate a unique code, valid for only a few minutes, and send it directly to your registered mobile number. That code became known as the one-time password. At the time, it was a game changer. Even if a cybercriminal somehow stole your password, they still couldn't log in. Because they didn't have your phone. It was simple, affordable, easy for customers to use, and far more secure than passwords alone. Banks adopted it. Customers trusted it. And for more than 2 decades, that tiny 6-digit code became the face of online banking security. It solved one of the biggest problems of the internet era. Or at least, that's what everyone believed. Because hidden inside that brilliant idea was one design decision that would eventually become its greatest weakness. Most people believe something that isn't true. They think the OTP comes from their phone. It doesn't. Others believe their banking app creates the OTP. That isn't true either. In reality, the moment you tap send OTP, your phone does almost nothing. Everything begins inside your bank. Let's see what actually happens. Imagine you are buying something online. You enter your card details. Click Pay Now. At that exact moment, your request reaches your bank's authentication server. Not your phone. Not your SIM card. The bank's authentication server now generates a unique, random code. Usually 6 digits. Valid for only a short period of time. That code exists only inside the bank's secure systems. Now the bank has one job. Get that code to you. And that's where the real journey begins. First, the bank sends the OTP to an SMS gateway. The SMS gateway forwards it to your mobile network operator. Your telecom provider then routes the message through its network. The nearest cell tower broadcasts it. Finally, your phone receives the SMS. Only then do you actually see those 6 digits. You type the OTP into the banking website or app. The bank compares the code you entered with the one stored securely on its authentication server. If both match, and the code hasn't expired, your identity is verified. The transaction is approved. Simple, fast, reliable. For years, this process protected billions of banking transactions every single day. But now, let's look at it from a cybersecurity analyst's perspective. That 6-digit code didn't stay inside the bank. It left a trusted environment. It passed through an SMS gateway, a telecom network, multiple network components, a cell tower, your mobile device, and finally, back to the bank. Every step in that journey is another place where attackers can try to interfere. Now, don't misunderstand this. When SMS OTP was introduced, this was an excellent design. Remember, this wasn't the era of smartphones. There were no secure hardware chips, no biometric authentication, no Face ID, no fingerprint authentication, no passkeys. Banks needed one authentication method that could work for everyone. Whether you owned the latest mobile phone or a basic feature phone that could only make calls and receive text messages, SMS was available almost everywhere. It was inexpensive, easy to deploy, easy for customers to understand, and it dramatically improved security compared to using a password alone. It wasn't chosen because it was the perfect technology. It was chosen because, at that time, it was the most practical technology. And for more than 2 decades, it worked remarkably well. Until the attackers stopped attacking the password and started attacking the journey. For more than 2 decades, SMS OTP did exactly what it was designed to do. It protected millions of bank logins, approved millions of online transactions, and became one of the most trusted security mechanisms in the digital world. So, what changed? Did hackers suddenly become smarter? Not exactly. The world around OTP changed, and cybercriminals changed with it. Here's something every cybersecurity professional understands. Security isn't just about protecting a secret. It's about protecting that secret throughout its entire journey. Think about sending an important document through the mail. The document may be confidential, but before it reaches its destination, it passes through sorting centers, delivery vehicles, post offices, and several different hands. Every stop along the way creates another opportunity for something to go wrong. SMS OTP works in much the same way. The moment your bank generates that 6-digit code, it leaves the bank's trusted environment. It travels through an SMS gateway, across your telecom provider's network, through mobile infrastructure, over the air to the nearest cell tower, and finally, to your phone. Only then can you use it to prove your identity. For years, that process worked remarkably well. But in cybersecurity, every additional system, every additional network, and every additional interaction creates another opportunity for an attacker. We call this the attack surface. The larger the attack surface, the more ways an attacker can achieve the same goal. Now, this is important. SMS wasn't broken. Banks didn't make a mistake. This wasn't the result of poor security. When SMS OTP became the global standard, it was one of the best solutions available. Back then, there were no passkeys, no secure hardware-backed authentication, no smartphones with biometric security, no phishing kits sold on the dark web, no AI-powered scam calls, and digital banking was still in its early days. Nobody imagined that one day, cybercriminals would build billion-dollar criminal operations focused entirely on stealing authentication. But that's exactly what happened. Attackers quickly realized something. Cracking the OTP itself was almost impossible. So they stopped attacking the 6-digit code. Instead, they attacked the people using it, the mobile networks carrying it, the devices receiving it, and every system in between. They never needed to break OTP. They only needed to break the journey. And that's the moment the industry realized the problem was never the code. And that single realization changed the future of online banking forever. For years, banks believed the biggest challenge was protecting the OTP. And they did. The OTP algorithm was strong. The codes were random. They expired within seconds. They couldn't simply be guessed. So if attackers couldn't break the OTP, how were they still stealing money? Because they changed the rules. Instead of attacking the 6-digit code, they attacked everything around it. Let's see how. Attack 1. SIM swap fraud. Imagine you wake up one morning, and suddenly, your phone loses network coverage. No calls, no messages, no internet through your mobile network. Most people would assume it's a network issue. But sometimes, it isn't. An attacker has convinced your mobile operator to activate a new SIM card using your mobile number. Maybe by using information leaked in a data breach. Maybe through social engineering. Maybe by exploiting a weak verification process. The moment the telecom provider activates that new SIM, your SIM stops working. And every SMS sent to your number, including your banking OTP, starts arriving on the attacker's phone. Your bank doesn't detect anything unusual. As far as the bank is concerned, it sent the OTP to the correct mobile number. It has no way of knowing that the number is now controlled by someone else. The bank wasn't hacked. The OTP wasn't broken. Your identity was stolen. Attack 2. Phishing. Now let's look at something even more common. You receive an SMS. Or maybe an email. Unusual activity detected. Your bank account will be blocked. Verify your account immediately. There's a link. You click it. The website looks identical to your bank. The same logo. The same colors. The same login page. Nothing feels suspicious. You enter your username, your password, and finally, your OTP. Only one problem. You were never talking to your bank. You were talking directly to the attacker. The attacker didn't steal your OTP. You handed it over. The attack didn't succeed because the OTP failed. It succeeded because trust failed. Attack 3. Adversary-in-the-Middle. Now imagine something even more sophisticated. Instead of creating a fake banking website, the attacker secretly places themselves between you and your bank. Whatever you type flows through the attacker's server first. Your username, forwarded. Your password, forwarded. Your OTP, forwarded. Everything reaches the bank exactly as expected. From the bank's perspective, nothing looks suspicious. You entered the correct password, the correct OTP, The login is genuine. But while you are successfully logging in, the attacker steals something even more valuable: your authenticated session. Once they have that session, they may no longer need your OTP at all. That's why security professionals often say, modern attackers don't just steal credentials. They steal authenticated sessions. And sometimes trust itself. Attack 4. Malware. Now let's move to your phone. Many people believe, if I never tell anyone my OTP, I'll always be safe. But what if your phone tells someone else? Some Android malware requests permission to read SMS messages. Once installed, it quietly waits. The moment your bank sends an OTP, the malware reads it instantly. Some variants even forward the message to the attacker. Others delete it before you even notice it arrived. Again, nobody broke the OTP. They simply read it before you did. Attack 5. AI-powered social engineering. Now imagine your phone rings. Hello, I'm calling from your bank's fraud department. The caller knows your name, your recent transaction, sometimes even your address. Everything sounds legitimate. The conversation feels professional. Then they say, for security verification, please read the OTP you just received. Without thinking, many victims do exactly that. Attack complete. No malware. No sophisticated hacking. No programming. Just psychology. Technology keeps changing. But one thing hasn't changed in decades. The easiest system to manipulate has always been the human mind. By now, you've probably noticed something. Not one of these attacks actually broke the OTP. Not one. The 6-digit code worked exactly as it was designed to. What changed was everything around it. The telecom network, the browser, the mobile device, the user. Cybercriminals didn't defeat OTP. They defeated the assumptions behind it. And once banks and cybersecurity experts realized that, they stopped asking, how do we build a stronger OTP? Instead, they started asking a completely different question. What if authentication never had to leave your device in the first place? After years of fighting fraud, banks didn't stop improving OTP. They made the codes expire faster. They linked them to specific transactions. They introduced fraud detection systems, machine learning, risk scoring, device fingerprinting, behavior analytics. Every year, authentication became smarter. Yet fraud didn't disappear. Because eventually, security engineers around the world realized something. They weren't solving the real problem, no matter how intelligent their detection became. One thing never changed. The authentication secret still had to leave the bank. It still had to travel across telecom networks. It still had to arrive on your phone. And every time it traveled, attackers had another opportunity. So instead of asking, how do we build a stronger OTP? The industry asked a completely different question. What if there was no OTP to send at all? That single question changed the future of authentication. Today, some of the world's biggest technology companies, payment providers, and financial institutions, including Visa, Google, Apple, Microsoft, and financial institutions around the world, are investing in authentication methods that don't depend on SMS. Because if the secret never travels, it becomes dramatically harder to steal. This wasn't just another security update. It was a complete change in thinking. Instead of protecting the journey, the industry decided to eliminate the journey altogether. Imagine logging into your bank without waiting for an SMS, without typing 6 digits, without worrying whether someone intercepted your OTP. Sounds impossible? It isn't. It's already happening. The technology behind it is called a passkey. At first glance, using a passkey feels incredibly simple. You open your banking app, scan your fingerprint, look at your phone, or enter your device PIN. You are logged in. But behind that simple experience, something remarkable happens. When you register your device, it creates 2 cryptographic keys. Think of them as 2 unique keys that are mathematically connected. One key stays with your bank. The other key never leaves your phone. Ever. Not in an SMS. Not in an email. Not on a server. Not even in the cloud. It's protected inside the secure hardware built into your device. So when you authenticate, the bank doesn't ask, "What's your OTP?" Instead, it asks your phone to prove it owns that private key. Your fingerprint or your face never leaves your device. It simply unlocks the private key stored securely inside your phone. Your phone signs a cryptographic challenge. The bank verifies the signature. Authentication complete. No shared secret. No SMS. Nothing traveling across a telecom network. Even better, Passkeys are designed to recognize the genuine website they're communicating with. So even if an attacker creates a perfect copy of your bank's website, your device simply refuses to authenticate. Many phishing attacks that work against passwords and OTPs never get the chance to succeed. No technology is perfect. But by removing the need to send a secret, Passkeys remove one of the biggest weaknesses SMS authentication has carried for decades. So, does this mean SMS OTP disappears tomorrow? No. Not even close. Around the world, billions of people still rely on SMS authentication every single day. Many users still use feature phones. Many businesses continue to depend on existing infrastructure. And for millions of transactions, SMS OTP still provides an important layer of protection. So this isn't the end of OTP overnight. It's something much more interesting. It's the evolution of authentication. Just as passwords didn't disappear when OTP arrived, OTP won't disappear simply because passkeys exist. Technology rarely replaces everything at once. It evolves. One layer, one generation, at a time. One day, passkeys may be replaced too. Not because they'll fail, but because attackers will evolve again. That's the nature of cybersecurity. No technology stays perfect forever. Every generation of cybersecurity solves the biggest problem of its time. Passwords protected us from unauthorized access. OTP protected us from stolen passwords. Now, passkeys are helping protect us from stolen identities. Not because OTP failed, but because attackers evolved. And security had to evolve with them. The next time your banking app asks you to verify a payment with your fingerprint, your face, or simply by unlocking your phone, remember, you are not just using a new feature. You are witnessing the next chapter in the history of authentication. Because the future of cybersecurity isn't about creating stronger passwords or longer OTPs. It's about building systems where secrets never have to travel. For more than 2 decades, that tiny 6-digit code helped billions of people trust online banking. It changed digital payments forever. And it protected the internet through one of its biggest transformations. But every security technology has a lifespan. Not because it stops working, but because the world around it keeps changing. The death of OTP isn't really about OTP. It's about how cybersecurity has always evolved. Every generation builds something stronger. Because every generation of attackers finds a new way in. It's the evolution of digital trust. And perhaps, that's the greatest lesson it leaves behind. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the world of cybersecurity, please consider leaving a like. It helps this video reach more people who want to understand how today's digital world really works. And if you are curious about the stories behind the biggest cyber attacks, scams, security technologies, and digital investigations, subscribe to the channel. Because every week, we'll uncover another cybersecurity story the internet never fully tells. Until then, stay curious, stay secure, and I'll see you in the next investigation.